Jack just wanted to play a shooting game with his father, but to his shock, his father actually fired a real gun at him. Amy, who was nearby, immediately sensed something was terribly wrong and threw herself over her little brother to shield him. As their father continued shooting at them, Amy had no choice but to crawl backward with her brother in tow. Once they managed to take cover in a shallow pit, Amy cautiously peeked out to assess the situation. To her horror, she saw that their father had not only set their car on fire, but had also turned the gun on himself. Amy told her brother to stay put while she ran to the vehicle to search for any useful supplies. She knew that if they wanted to survive, they had to get back to civilization fast. Otherwise, they'd die of hunger or thirst in this godforsaken desert. Night fell quickly. After walking all day, the siblings were desperately thirsty, but in their rush to escape, they hadn't grabbed any water. To conserve their energy, they forced themselves to ignore their parched throats and tried to sleep early. At first light, Amy got her brother up and they hit the road again. Wanting a better view of the terrain, Amy decided to climb to the top of a nearby hill. But when they reached the summit, the sight before them was crushing. Nothing but barren mountains and desert stretched as far as the eye could see, with no sign of civilization anywhere. Worse still, they didn't have a single drop of water with them. They needed to find water, and fast. They hadn't gone far when Jack collapsed, unable to take another step. Seeing her brother lying on the ground, refusing to move, Amy hoisted him onto her back and pressed on. The two of them staggered another mile under the scorching sun. Just as Amy was about to give out, a patch of green vegetation appeared before them. At first, Amy thought she was hallucinating, but when Jack stirred from his daze and said he could see it too, she realized they were saved. Not only was there plenty of water here, but the trees were loaded with tempting fruit. After drinking their fill, Jack plucked a fruit straight from the water and started eating. Amy was initially worried the fruit might be poisonous, but when she saw birds eating from the trees, she figured it was safe. Once they'd eaten and drunk to their heart's content, the siblings decided to rest here for the night and continue their journey in the morning. But when they woke the next day, they discovered that the pool that had been full of water just yesterday had completely dried up overnight. All the fruit had fallen from the trees and rotted on the ground. What devastated them most was that they'd been so focused on eating and drinking the day before, they hadn't thought to store any water or fruit for later. Amy kicked herself for not thinking ahead, but she reasoned that the water source would probably return. Maybe if they just waited a bit longer, the pool would fill up again. When they woke up again, they found themselves face to face with a wild man who was out hunting nearby. He approached and asked if they needed food, but the siblings couldn't understand a word he was saying. When the wild man saw Jack repeatedly pointing to his mouth, he realized they were thirsty. He inserted a reed into the sandy ground, and after sucking out the first mouthful of muddy water, the siblings were finally able to drink sweet groundwater. Recognizing that this man possessed incredible wilderness survival skills, they decided to ask him to guide them out of the desert.